Hi everyone, welcome to the program. Today I'm going to be talking with a Justice of the Peace. His name is Errol Archibald Gray. Welcome, Mr. Gray.
Thank
How are
you.
you doing?
I am doing well and I'm giving thanks to be alive.
Okay. So first of all, I want you to tell us who or what is a Justice of the Peace um, from the Jamaican context.
Okay, to be qualified to be a justice of the peace, you must be a Jamaican
Mhm.
and you must be resident in Jamaica. And the ages range from 18 years, 18 to 75, 18 to 75.
Okay, so you can be a justice of the peace as young as 18.
18, yes.
I always thought that it had to be somebody more mature, somebody more established.
I suspect that that could have been before my time.
Hmm.
But as it is now, it's from the age of 18 to 75.
Is age the only thing that is taken into consideration?
Good question. No. As I say, you must be a resident in Jamaica.
Hmm.
You must be living here all your life.
Okay,
You cannot be a citizen of any other country and to be a JP here.
okay. How about academic or
Very good question too,
business?
because you have to be fluent with the
Hmm.
English language.
Right.
They put the interest there.
Okay. All right. So do they typical? How do you? Is it that the person um, selects or elects themselves or somebody recommends the person? How does one become a
Okay,
justice of the
you
peace?
can be recommended to be a justice of the peace by a club or any community civil association can recommend you.
Mhm.
Even the principal for a high school in your area
Yeah.
can recommend you to be a justice of the peace. In my case, I was not recommended by any of those bodies.
Mhm.
I sought it out myself and take the leap.
And you would go through which office?
Okay, the office that I went through, it's the Ministry of Justice,
Okay.
and you can also apply through the Custos in Spanish Town. That is Mr. Jeffrey Mackenzie.
Okay. So you would apply to the custos in your parish.
Parish, yes,
Right. Okay. So what made you decide? You say you took it upon yourself as your civic duty.
yes. I think I
Yes.
love serving. I love serving the public for some reason or the other. I have been in this service serving of people for quite a long time.
Mhm.
And this doesn't make it a difference. I just love it. So I want to get involved.
Okay. And what are your duties as justice of the peace?
Okay, good question. As Justice of the Peace, you are required to sign documents. There are documents such as the passport forms, your life certificate that comes from the ministry,
Mhm.
if you're a retired person, photographs, that is to be presented to like a government office.
Mhm.
All those have to be notarized, so you have to sign those.
And these are very personal documents, right? That people would be presenting.
Yes,
So it's a very delicate job that you have. The
very important too.
very important and very
Yes,
delicate. The
yes,
information that's on your birth certificate. A lot of persons would guard these information,
yes,
right? So it's usually the copies of these documents that you would be signatory to, right?
usually yes.
What's the difference between signing your signature and putting your stamp? Do you usually do both to all documents, or some documents require the stamp and some require just a signature? What's the difference?
Very good question. Because the signature does not go without the stamp.
Okay.
It will not make it it will make it void if you do not stamp it.
Mhm.
You have to put the seal onto it.
Okay.
So
And
you sign and you seal.
each, I would imagine, each justice of the peace has his own seal, his own number. Is that the case, or is just a standard seal?
Right. I almost miss you there because they have their own number, each
Your
of
number.
us.
Okay.
Right. But the seal is basically the same,
The standard seal.
standard.
Right. And I would imagine then nobody else can use your seal because your seal would have your number on it.
Of
Right?
course, of
Okay.
course.
Where is your office located and which area do you serve?
Wow. No, my office is located in the Josephine Riley Park.
Mm-hmm.
That's in the 2 East section of Greater Portmore.
Okay.
And I am a justice of the peace, not only for Greater Portmore, I am for the parish of St. Catherine.
Oh, so which brings me to this question now. Is it because I know that sometimes you're filling out some forms and you have to say, okay, I know I have known this person for X number of years. So if you serve the entire parish of St. Catherine, I imagine then that you would be signing documents for persons who you may not know. What is the situation with that? You have to know the person. And
Okay, in that case, yes, you have to know the person. And this is where the justice of the peace come in.
Mhm,
Because the justice of the peace is there to say, yes, this is a person of good standing and this is a person can be trusted.
mhm.
So you have to know the person,
Okay, so even though your domain spans the parish, you still have to know
the
the
person,
persons
of
that you're
course,
signing for.
of
And
course.
is there a limit to the number of years that you have to know the person for before you can sign the documents?
No, there is no limit to that number of years.
Okay.
Even if you know the person for the 1 year, you
Mm-hmm.
can sign that
Can sign
document.
documents.
Yes.
Okay. I know for you personally, you're a Sabbath keeper, right? And so it brings the issue now of time and boundaries. I know just from experience, just from observation, right? Going to the justice of the peace, you might see persons coming there in in the hours of the night, on weekends. Is there a cutoff point where you say, no, you can't come to me after certain hours, or you can't come to me on certain days, or is the justice of the peace just open where persons can come at their convenience? How do you regulate that?
Okay. For me, I am available Monday, well, Sundays to Fridays.
Mhm.
And on Fridays, my cutoff time is usually 4 o'clock.
Okay.
Yes. I don't do business on Saturdays.
Mhm.
Right? So my business day would have started like Sunday, right back to Friday again. And my cutoff time would be like 5 o'clock.
And this is left up to the JP, right? The JP decides when are the hours that are convenient for persons to come.
Yes.
Okay, because I have seen, like I said, even me myself, um, having to go to the JP in the night because sometimes you urgently need a document to be signed. And I know for most JPs, they work. A lot of them, they have their regular jobs. They come home at a certain time. So there's a matter of convenience. You end up having to go knock up on the door 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock. But at the same time, you're saying, boy, this must be really inconvenient to this person because it's not me alone they have to deal with. They are they are accessible to everybody in the community. Do you find that it infringes on your family time, on your own little errands you have to run sometimes?
Okay. Very good one. Yes, it does sometimes. But with the knowledge that you have taken onto yourself a job to serve,
Mhm.
you usually give some persons. And as you say, depending on the circumstances, it's an urgent matter, you might deal with it, even though you have your cutoff point set.
Mm-hmm.
But at times, if you're really and truly involved,
Mm-hmm.
and like family time,
Yeah.
you may not want to break that.
Right. So you really have to draw the line and know, okay, for my own sanity, for my own sake, and giving time to my family and my personal needs, I have to set
At time,
boundaries. Yeah, I
yes,
have to set boundaries, which is
yes.
only fair. Are you paid as a justice of the peace?
Before I get to that, if the matter requires urgent attention, no matter what time of night it is,
Mm-hmm.
once I'm dedicated to serving, I will attend to you.
Okay.
But I have to see the matter
The
deserving that.
urgency, right,
Yes,
of the matter.
right. No, talking about pay, no.
Okay.
It's a big N and a big no,
So you're
right?
not paid at
You're
all.
not paid. You're not even given
Okay.
a stipend,
Okay.
right? But I was with a justice of the peace yesterday, and I think I can call his name in this forum,
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Mackenzie,
Mm-hmm.
in the Portmore area too.
Right.
And this was one of the things that we were on just yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Because when it comes to doing like recommendation, he's saying we have to buy our own pens, we have to buy our own paper, then get them printed,
Mm-hmm.
and we have to buy our own envelopes. So he believes, and I supported it too, that we should be given a stipend.
Okay.
But as it is now, nothing like that.
That leads me to the next question I was about to ask about the material that you're provided with. But before I even go to that, I was of the opinion that JPs are given a stipend
But
because I
that's
remember I remember a couple years ago, um, something came up. This issue came up about JPs who were asking or requesting that the public give them assistance, financial assistance, right? And
yes.
some of them, because persons were complaining, some of the JPs were actually demanding that they be given X amount of money before they sign the documents. And I've been to JP offices where they had a container out front, and you go in and you put the money, or the person, maybe a secretary or the JP themselves, would make the suggestion, right? What persons were complaining about is because they were saying, you are given a stipend by the government, so you should not be requesting. So I've always been of the understanding that this is the case. But now you're saying no, you're not given a stipend. And to your knowledge, this has never been the case.
This has never been the case to my knowledge.
Okay.
And it's very, very sad
Mm-hmm.
because most of us are retired persons
Mm-hmm.
and have no salary getting nowhere.
Okay.
I'm talking about the materials, we have to buy them ourselves. Pens, envelopes, paper, everything like that. We have to do them
Do you
ourselves.
have to purchase a stamp, a
No,
seal?
well, after graduation, we're given the seal.
Okay,
So,
so you're
no.
given your seal, and how often do you need to replace this seal?
Wow, I'm unable to answer to that one
But it
because
lasts a good
it
time.
lasts a good time.
And when time comes to replace it, the government will replace it.
Well, if and when that time comes around, we have the custos of
Mhm.
St. Catherine that we take it to, and it will be dealt with from his office.
Okay. So you mentioned graduation. I didn't know. So you actually have to go through a
Classes,
course.
yes,
How long is this
yes.
course?
Well, mine lasted for 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Yes,
And how often during that 2 weeks? Like every day,
yes,
every day
right through the week,
for how long
eight
each day?
to four,
Oh,
right through the week.
so you had full classes from
Yes,
8 o'clock in the morning to 4 p.m.
yes,
5 days a week for two
yes.
weeks. And what were the kinds of um, things that are taught. And where are these classes held?
Well, the things that tell you there is what it takes to be a JP, who
Mm-hmm.
must be a JP, what a JP is, what is demanded of the JP,
Mm-hmm.
and your background checks and all of that.
Okay. So you have to have a police record,
Yes,
check background.
yes, because
Okay.
if you have been convicted in a court of law,
Mm-hmm.
then it makes you ineligible.
Okay. So these have to be persons of stellar,
Yes.
impeccable
Right,
background because
right.
you are handling delicate information.
Delicate matters, yes.
Delicate information. So it makes sense that you have to be vouched for, you have to be checked.
Of course.
Yes, that definitely makes sense. So you actually had a graduation
At
ceremony.
the end of the 2 weeks.
Okay, and you were given what, certificates? A
Yes, yes.
certificate to
You're given
say.
a certificate at your graduation.
Mm-hmm.
And at the graduation, the Minister of Security is usually there.
Mm-hmm.
He's the one who presented the certificate. In
Okay.
my case, it was Mr. Chuck.
Okay. All right. So you mentioned that most JPs are retired, which
Yes,
is my knowledge too. That's why I was thinking you have to be beyond a certain maturity to
yes.
become a JP. So, what was your life like before you became a JP? What was your career like?
Wow. I hate to go places and tell people that I used to be a police.
Oh, you used to be a police officer.
Of
Okay, for how
course.
long?
Uh, I joined the force in 1978.
Mm-hmm.
I served the force for almost 35 years. And
Whoa.
I did the force at the sergeant level.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
That's awesome. 35
Awesome.
years.
35 years.
Wow. And where did you serve at that time?
Wow. I served at the Mobile Reserve. That's the first place after leaving training school.
Mm-hmm.
After leaving the Mobile Reserve, I was sent to they have the Surf Center, Caribbean Surf Center.
Mm-hmm.
I was sent there as an instructor, and I was at the school for some time, and then back to the Caribbean Surf Center because there was only one instructor there. Uh, this fellow name is Mona. He was an inspector,
Mm-hmm.
and he himself wants me there with him.
Mm-hmm.
So the demand was there, and so they say, hands in the air,
Wow.
and they,
Awesome.
and they sent
35 years of
and they
service.
sent me back there.
And how long have you been at JP?
Basically 5 years.
5 years now.
Yes.
How has your background in law enforcement, um, how does it help you in terms of your role now as Justice of the Peace?
Very good question because guess what? The police has taught me a lot of things,
Mm-hmm.
and I am able even to look at persons and make a decision
That right. That's
on
what I'm
them.
thinking. Right.
Yes, I'm able to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm also able to ask questions that can take me where I want to go.
Exactly.
Yes. So the force has taught me those things, and I'm happy for
Yes.
that. And
Yes.
even during the classes as a JP,
Mm-hmm.
it was pronounced, and people saw it,
Mm-hmm.
and they applaud me for it.
Yes.
Mhm.
I can just imagine, and you see this channel, um, we interview persons in different jobs because that's the whole point of the channel. I
Yes.
want to get to the nitty gritty of what the job entails, and I've been thinking of interviewing some ex police officers. So I'm gonna be calling on you again
In that
in that
capacity.
capacity. Yes, because well, I want to interview current police officers as well, right? And I'm going through that road because you have to get because that's a very sensitive job as well. I have to go through the routes. can't just grab a police officer and say, "Come, come talk to me."
And maybe you want to make a comparison between now and then.
Exactly, right. So I want to get probably 3 retired police officers and have a chat with them. So I'll be calling on you again.
And I can help you get to
Oh,
that.
good. Yeah, I
Yes, of
really want
course.
to talk to some
We have
retired
we have some over here.
officers. Yes,
Mhm.
absolutely. Just last week I was at Denby, and I came upon the fire brigade. They were exhibiting at Denby, and I seized the opportunity to speak with the
Commander.
firemen there, right, and got some nice interviews. All right, so what we're going to do now, we're going to have our slideshow, which is a part of the our feature, and I want you to, when you see the pics, just tell me what comes to your mind, or explain to our viewers what it is that they are seeing, right? So we're going to, all right. So let me check first of all that it's okay. It says on. All right. So this is our first. What are you doing here? Where are you, and what are you doing?
Okay, what you are seeing here is I'm sitting in my office, which is the Josephine Riley Park,
Mhm.
and I am overlooking some documents which was presented to me to be signed. But you know, as always, you have to peruse the documents properly
Mhm.
before you put pen to paper.
Right.
And that's exactly what was happening here.
Mhm. And you know what? You're in the best office ever because you're outside, nice fresh air,
Oh,
in the shade. Yeah. All right. So this is.
okay. This is the seal
Mhm.
that you use to seal all documents that you sign, whether it's a picture, photograph, or document, whatever it is.
It looks heavy. Is it heavy?
Not very heavy. It's easy to handle.
All right. So this
And
is
that
another
black thing,
angle.
and that black thing beside it is the pouch in which it is
Which you keep
kept.
the seal in.
Yes,
Okay. And you said so. This seal was provided by the
by the
government,
government, of
and when
course.
it needs to be repaired, because I imagine after many uses, the seal itself wears out.
I imagine that
Yeah,
too, but I have not experienced that
right.
yet.
I actually experienced that. I went to a JP and she stamped it, but then we had to return
Nothing
it
came out.
because they were saying they couldn't see it.
Yeah,
And then
nothing.
she was
Yes,
explaining to me, oh, it needs to be replaced.
yes. I think it is quite possible.
Right.
Barely anything is perfect in this life.
Yeah. So these are documents, and you have to. I imagine it's a time-consuming process because you have to read
Yes,
over these documents and
of
ensure
course, of course. You don't just take document from people and put
and
pen
put
on
it
it.
right.
No, you can't do that.
Mhm. Okay, so these are just some close-ups to show our viewers the signing process, and that is
Yes, and that is a
the
sealing
seal.
process.
Okay, so you're
Yes,
applying the seal.
right. Because you have already gone through the document now
Hmm.
and you're signing
Right. And this is something you do so often. You're a movie star,
quite
signing your,
often, quite
just
often.
like a movie star, you're signing your signature so
As a matter
often.
of fact, I was taken aback the other day. I was saying to myself, wow, should I give up this thing? Because it's becoming like overbearing.
Oh, really? You
Well,
feel
yes, when you
it's,
find people coming down on you
yeah.
and so on and so forth, yeah, you start to wonder, this is what the JP work entails?
About how many persons would you see on a daily basis
Okay,
on the days that you work?
in the park,
Yeah.
10,
10 persons per
10,
day.
yes.
Okay. And they'll have documents like birth certificates. They're applying for passport. They're
Something,
applying
yes.
for
And
jobs
sometimes it's just photographs.
to be like, right, they want to change a passport or
Yes.
apply for a passport. All right, so this is the seal, the actual
That
seal,
is what came out when the
right?
document is sealed.
Justice of the peace, Saint Catherine, and this is
Yes.
the coat of
Coat of
arms.
arms, yes.
Okay, a little close up. All right, I love this pic. I love this. I just love the dark area as a background. It's a really
Okay,
nice pic,
okay.
and this is a more sunny pic. All right. Okay, I think this is the last one. All right, so this was our slideshow. Um, what are the? Would you be liable? Is there any liability involved in your job? Like if you sign a document that, for example, was a forged document, right? And even with your checks and balances, it got through your hands, but it turned out it was a forged document. Would you be liable in any way in
I
court?
love that. I love that question. I have not come across that yet,
Mhm.
but it's a lovely question because in today's world,
Mhm.
our young people, and I'm not saying our young people as if I'm against young
Young
people,
people, right?
but our young people, they try so many things nowadays.
Mhm.
They want to get to
They want to beat
somewhere
the system
and they
always.
try their own thing.
Yeah.
But one of the things that helps us or helps me is
Mhm.
that we peruse the document in such a close up way
Mhm.
that you are able to tell. And then behind all of that, you ask some relevant questions.
Mhm.
And if they are not able to answer the questions, or if they do answer the questions contrary to what the form is saying,
Yeah.
then it puts you to thinking twice.
Mhm. Have you ever heard of one of your fellow JPs who got into trouble with the courts due to a matter like that?
I think I've heard yes of one, but I am not able to explain the intricacies of what took place.
Yeah.
Uh, I think he's not a JP anymore.
Mhm.
But as I say, I'm not able to explain the
The
intricacies of what took
intricacies.
place there.
Well, I remember hearing on the news a couple years ago. Again, I don't know the details, but it was somewhere in the country, and this lady was looking about the transfer of land, and her documents. She actually had forged documents, and I remember hearing that the justice of the peace was had to go to court. I don't know if charges were made or if the person or if she ended up in prison, but it was a big case. I don't remember the details, but then it's made me wonder, if you are not being paid, is it worth the risk
Ah,
that you take?
and this is why I said what I said earlier,
Mhm.
that sometimes you get flabbergasted
Yeah,
in the
overwhelmed.
sense, yes, and sometimes after reaching that point, you ask yourself, does this make sense?
Hmm.
But as it relates to signing documents that is forged, like I say, you have to peruse the document close up carefully,
Hmm.
and you have to take your time to do it
Yes, and ask the relevant
and
questions,
ask
as you say,
relevant
and,
questions.
and and also, as you say, a part of the job which people may take for granted, but this is a very important part of the job
Yes,
is judgment,
yes.
right?
And because I have served the force in so many
Capacities and
areas
so
and so
long.
on, yeah, and as a detective too,
Hmm.
yes, it becomes easy for
Part of
me.
it, yes.
Yes, it becomes easy for me.
Hmm. I can imagine persons, because I have actually heard persons say, "Oh, I want to be a JP. I want to get some extra money because believe me, you see this
Mhm.
thing that JP getting stipend. It's a widespread belief. Trust me, I
Oh,
believe that,
wow.
and I've heard people say they want an additional income,
Income, yes.
so they're just going. The other day, somebody came to me and said, um, would you consider being a justice of the peace? They're asking me, right? And I was saying, boy, the job that I have is so demanding. I
Hmm.
wouldn't have the time. And they were saying, but look, you'd be perfect for the job and and you would get some extra money. So it's a widespread
Believe.
belief.
Mhm.
It is a widespread belief. Or maybe it's because we know that many JPs actually ask for something.
Well,
Is it illegal for you to ask for some money?
I wouldn't say illegal,
Mhm.
but it's not in tandem with the job
Mhm.
because you've been told from the outset
Mhm.
that this is so, and it's a voluntary job.
Okay.
Well, let me tell you this: the JP that I told you, Mr. Mackenzie, I can call his name because he's concerned as much as I am.
Mhm.
We spoke yesterday at length, and one of the things I told him is that at the next meeting in Spanish Town, this is what I will be raising.
Okay.
Yes, I want to ask if we can be given a stipend, and I want the customers to take this up.
And this would be the monthly parish council meeting,
Yes,
or there's a
the
different meeting for
monthly,
JPs,
the
the
monthly.
parish council
Yes,
meeting.
but they have a
Okay.
different meeting for JPs.
How
But
often do the
I
JPs meet?
say
Same
monthly.
monthly?
Yes, but I intend to put it across the board
Right.
so that everybody can see it because what you're saying here to me now make me laugh
Yeah, I'm
that
telling
it
you,
was the belief, even
it
you,
is. Yeah.
that we are given stipend,
Mhm.
and it
And
is not
people have
so.
it to think that it's a nice little pocket change you
Yeah,
can do with your other job. You understand?
well, it's not so. I'm establishing that no,
Right, that
it's
is
not
not so.
so.
Do you have a figure in your head that you would recommend to the council?
No,
Mm-hmm.
but I am not thinking like that. And why?
Mm-hmm.
Because I am thinking that if they consider a stipend, it would have been from their angle. But
Mm-hmm.
if we were asked, then it would be a different matter.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I would have to, in that case, I would have to meet with some of my JPs and get a feel
Yeah.
as to what they think would be reasonable.
And normally, when you have your JP meeting, what are the concerns that you hear coming up
Overcrowding in some
in
cases.
terms of what? Overcrowding of, I don't.
Okay, there are some JPs in Spanish Town that in your area you are the only one there,
Mm-hmm.
and people are coming down at you, and you
Okay.
wish there was another one or two,
Mm-hmm.
so
To
it could
take off
spread
the
to
load.
take the load off you.
Yeah.
Yes, that is number one. And also the stipend comes up every now and again.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And the documents too, because I am fortunate enough, as I have said, being a ex-police, to peruse the documents and know the questions to ask and so on. Some people are not there.
Mm-hmm.
And because they are not there, this is a concern because trouble for them could be looming easily.
Mm-hmm. Do they fear for their safety, especially the ones who operate from home?
I've never heard that, but yes, because if you refuse to do a document, you know that person is going to be displeased,
Mm-hmm.
and being displeased, you don't know what can come out of it.
Yes. Because I know a lot of JPs do operate from home,
Mm,
where people actually they go to the home right up to their door
yes,
and knock, and sometimes they just see this person from Adam. They might live in the community, but they just seen you, and maybe a friend recommend, they're giving you
yes,
a blight. But it's the scenario is a dangerous
it is.
one.
It is a chance taking one.
Yeah.
I have been introduced to persons already that I do not know,
Mhm.
but the persons who do the introduction, they are properly known to me,
Right.
and sometimes it's a family member too of
Right.
mine.
Right.
Yes, and because of that, I say, well, yes, I can take it from you.
Mhm.
It happens to me even yesterday.
Yeah.
My brother sent somebody to me, and I ask him questions, and he knows that I will be asking the question. They
Mhm.
know me.
Right.
hmm
Okay.
And then after answering the questions and I'm satisfied because it's a brother, then the guy came
Mhm.
and I did it. It's a big
Right.
man too, as a matter of fact.
Mhm.
But that doesn't erase the fact that
Yeah,
anything can
because
happen.
anybody can be unscrupulous,
Anybody
and have
nowadays.
ulterior motives that are not
Anybody
in
nowadays.
keeping with the law, right?
Yes.
Is the justice of the peace our equivalent to the notary public in the United States? Is
Basically, it's the
it
same
the
thing.
same?
Yes, basically, it's the same thing. It's just a name.
Okay, that's different.
That's different.
All right. Um, is there, as we wrap up, I wish we had more time, but I know you're very, very busy. So we're gonna wrap up now. But is there anything that you would want to say in terms of letting the public be aware of what it really takes to be a justice of the peace?
Okay, there are two things I want to say, but as it relates to being a justice of the peace, you need to be a citizen of Jamaica. That needs to be established.
Mm,
You need to be 18 years and older. That needs to be established too. You need to be recommended. You need to be recommended by a civil body, a club, something like that. Yes, you must be recommended because people have to know you, must know you. Secondly, I would like to say you have to be of unquestionable character. Yes, because we need that of our justices.
mm,
You need to have that sort of reputation that can be trusted. That is, don't even have a speck on it,
mm,
so to speak.
right.
Right. And also, you must want to serve. You
Mm,
must want to serve because in a capacity like this, if you don't want to serve, especially not getting any money at all, it's
right.
gonna be hard for you to decide to take up a job like this.
Mm,
Hmm?
very true.
Very, very hard.
Mm.
So if you're looking for extra money, don't come in this direction.
So how do you sustain yourself then?
Oh, wow. You see? So we come right back to it.
Mm.
If you don't want to serve, leave it alone because no money is there.
So you have to
Sustaining,
know that you're solid elsewhere.
you have to be. You
Mm,
have to be.
mm,
I am getting a little pension now, as you might have known.
mm,
Hmm. And I have a very supportive wife.
mm.
Yes. So with that, we get along.
Okay.
We get along.
You said there were two things you wanted to say different from the statement you just made, or those were tied into what you just
Yes.
said.
We have to ensure that the documents we are signing for persons,
Mm-hmm.
they are absolutely beyond question.
Mm-hmm.
We must ensure that's our obligation. We must ensure that. We must also ensure that the person, him or her, is of that kind of character that can be trusted.
Yeah. And remember the documents, when you're photocopying your documents, ensure that every part of the document is copied, right?
Yes,
Because
yes,
sometimes persons photocopy documents and they leave off the seal or they leave off a signature or something. You have to ensure. I have, it had happened with me already. I photocopied a passport, not a passport, birth certificate for someone, and didn't realize that they had copied the bottom part of it, which contained a part of the seal. And I
yes.
was sent back to have it done. Because these are things that sometimes we take it for granted. We don't even
Yes,
look, we
of
just take it
course.
for granted, but we don't understand that these are critical
And
pieces of
there's
information.
another important point that I need to go to. If a form is taken to you, we need to ensure that it's properly filled out
Hmm.
before you put your signature onto it.
Yes.
And if it is something that the person is to sign, the signing must be done in your presence.
Okay. How about the dates? The dates that the person, because sometimes there's a section where the individual must fill out and they would put the date. The date has to match your date. Is that true?
Have to, yes,
Right. So you
yes,
would say to them, don't put that part until they're in front of you.
yes. And
Yeah.
sometimes there's only one section for dates,
Mhm.
and that is done by you.
Right.
After signing, the date comes, and then you will put the date in. But
Okay.
all information must be on the document before it comes to you.
Mhm.
And the signing is very important. It must be done in your presence.
Okay. All right. So I want to thank you, sir, for taking the time out. I know you have to run now. But as I said, I will be inviting you
In a different
and
capacity.
in a different capacity because I really want to talk with, because we know the situation we have with crime right now. We
Mhm.
have to try to get into the heads of the ones who have been in it, been in the system, leave the system, but still have some contribution to make, some recommendations, some observations,
Some concerns.
concerns. So I wanted to gather up your colleagues and just let me know when we can have that discussion.
Oh,
So,
okay.
all
How
right. So
much would you
again,
need?
maybe three or four.
I would comprise the four.
Yeah.
So three.
Yes. Three
Okay.
plus you, and
Okay.
we would have a panel discussion,
Oh, okay.
right?
No problem.
Because it couldn't be like this because we couldn't all fit. But I'll just send you the link and we all have a panel discussion.
Oh, okay.
Right?
No problem.
Okay, so thank you again, and thank you
You
too
are
for,
most welcome.
yes, viewers, thank you too for tuning in. And as usual, you'll see me again with someone very interesting to speak about their job and what it takes.
Thank you.